Well, hello there, it's me, that divination witch. I hope you're doing well. I'm back with another witchy video, and this time it's regarding our favourite person, again, Hecate. And this is answering questions that you guys have asked me, I suppose. It's been asked in several different ways over the months, and well, I'm going to try and answer it best I can, and that is Hecate's role in trauma. How does she help? And does she even help with that? So yeah, let's get into it. If you don't know who I am, my name's Sarah. I'm that divination witch. Hello and welcome. I hope you do stick around. This is my witchy safe space. I've built it up to help you guys and answer your questions, share what I can. No questions are silly questions, so ask away. I'm happy to help. I've also got a link tree below if you're interested in getting a reading from me. I've got a shop and a Patreon. So yeah, if you're interested, please check it out. I'd be grateful. Thank you. Right, so traumas are a nuanced topic, I suppose, and something that I don't feel fully equipped to advise on. I am traumatized. A lot of us are, okay? Hold my hands up. I have CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's due to the childhood I've had, upbringing. It basically means you haven't had stability. And so my anxiety level, say normal anxiety level's about there, like resting anxiety level, mine's up here. I get triggered by emotional situations. There are a lot of people that have what I have, but not everyone does. So, you know, you could be traumatized in a different way. You may deal with things differently. You may have different triggers and things like this. So it's not something I like to fully, you know, talk about, because I'm not a mental health professional. I know bits and bobs and I know how to deal with what I deal with, but it doesn't mean I'm a professional. So I just want to say, if you are traumatized, if you are dealing with heavy stuff, if you can, please seek professional help, and don't push yourself into situations that you may trigger yourself and then not be able to get out of and be a danger to yourself, basically. I do see a few occultists on YouTube talk about trauma like it's nothing. Like, oh yes, everyone can just battle through trauma. Well, they clearly haven't been through any form of mental health training, which I have, the basics, but I have. I worked in mental health for a time, and I know it's not that simple. It isn't. Not everyone can face up to it. But it weighs heavy on a lot of us. It's part of life to an extent that a lot of us do have traumas that we hold and carry with us. And some of these things are small, and some of these things are not small. Some of us can cope with them better than others. But when it comes to Hecate, you know, if you are someone interested in her, if you're working with her or going to work with her or just curious, she is a goddess who likes to help you with your traumas. Obviously as best as she can. I mean, yeah, out of everyone, and it's on a spiritual level, she would be an expert. But that being said, she isn't a human being sitting there with you, helping you, and she can help you on a spiritual level and on a higher level than humans can, but she can't physically be in the room with you to help you if you get triggered. So a lot of what you work through with her, it relies on you as well and your strength. So when it comes to Hecate, she does like us to address these things. And I suppose it could be why a lot of people give her this dark reputation and can be a bit scared of her, because she doesn't mince words and she doesn't sugarcoat things, but she isn't cruel either. She wants us to address things to get stronger, to be able to fight these battles, to be able to conquer our inner demons, to be able to do shadow work and integrate, not so much dismiss it, not so much cure it, because is there a cure to such things? Not really. But there is a way of acceptance, accepting it, integrating, merging with it into a new form of you, a new and improved version of you, a stronger, more resilient version of you. And that's what Hecate's teachings are really all about. You know, it doesn't matter how long she's with you for, what sort of role she plays in your life. She is a mentor. Even if she's a mother, even if she is your mother like she is to me, she still guides me. She's the torchbearer, the light bearer, and she guides us. She guides lost souls out of whatever's keeping us lost into more structure on a path to where we're supposed to go, to enlightenment ultimately, to peace and prosperity and being at one. That's the end game. But on the way there, a more pleasant journey, let's say. She will trigger you, she will. She does it in a way that you can handle. My story time about a negative entity that had recently been around me. Now, I explained in that story time how I became complacent with my spiritual hygiene, meaning cleansing after every reading, you know, making sure my energy was up. I was taking myself for granted, pushing myself in a negative way. She let that happen. She didn't stop me. And then she let the negative entity in, and she didn't stop it either. And that's not because she wanted to hurt me or scare me. And it's not because she thought anything vicious or vindictive. It's because she knew I could handle it and that I was becoming complacent and lazy in my practice. And so it was like, right, deal with it, Sarah. And I did. So she does things like this. She wouldn't chuck us in the deep end and say sink or swim. If she knows for a fact you cannot swim, she wouldn't do that. But that doesn't mean she won't present us with situations that are difficult to get us out of our comfort zone. Because we as humans, and I myself, hold my hands up, we get stuck in toxic comfort zones that don't serve us, that hinder our progression. And that could be something as simple as what I've just explained, you know, keeping up on your spiritual hygiene, you know, self-care. That could be being trapped in a job that you hate, because I've been there too, being treated like crap for 10 years, no further forward. You're just a number at the end of the day. She helped me realise that and see that. Or it could be certain behaviours you've got with yourself. There's certain things that I'm still working through, and I know one day she's going to push me to really address it. But like addictions, you could be someone who, I don't know, likes to smoke or vape. You know it's bad for you, but it's your vice, it's your addiction, right? She's not going to force you straight away to quit overnight like that, because it's not that simple. But there may come a scenario further down the line when you've built yourself up in other ways, where you're stronger in other ways, that you can quit. So if you don't do it of your own initiative, then a certain circumstance may arise where you've got no choice but to quit. That's the way she kind of operates. And it's the same on an emotional trauma-based level, that if you have a trauma that maybe 6 months ago it would be too triggering to deal with, you would be a complete mess if it was brought up. Okay, that's okay. Well, we'll work on some other things. We'll work on some other traumas that are maybe less triggering, that you can handle. And then 6 months pass, you've handled them. You're stronger than before. You've got a different attitude and mindset. Right, big trauma comes up. But this time you're not going to cave, and this time you're not going to falter. This time you're strong enough to deal with it. And that is Hecate in a nutshell. That's how she helps us, because she fights for us that have been traumatized, for us that have been hurt and been through some stuff. She fights for us because she is that guide to the lost souls. And whether we like to hear it or not, if you have been deeply traumatized like that, you probably are a lost soul to an extent. I know I was. And she does have a soft spot for that, because that's part of her job role, to help us so we don't become a wandering spirit, trapped, earthbound, can't move on. You know, that would be a horrible existence to have. That would be a horrible afterlife, to be stuck. And that's part of her job as well, to unstuck, to get these people shifted to where they need to be. And that's more difficult to deal with, really. If you are embarking on a spiritual journey of any variety, really the ultimate goal is, and what we all have in common, is that we want betterment, we want enlightenment. We have realised there's more to life than the material, than the mundane 9 to 5. We know there's got to be a reason for all of this. It doesn't matter what path you're on, we all share that in common. And we all share in common as well that, okay, well, when the time does come and, you know, we're moving on and ceasing to exist the way we are now, we want a nice afterlife, whether that is heaven or whether that is a nice reincarnation or a restful time. We want to be enlightened. We don't want to be held behind, or, you know, in hell or purgatory or whatever you want to call it. We don't want to be lost. We want to be great, up there. That's part of spirituality, knowing that your soul has a purpose, whatever that purpose is. Ultimately, we all believe, really, it's an enlightened purpose, returning to source, returning to God, the creator God, you know, nirvana, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're all on this journey and we're realising. So yes, when it comes to Hecate, she is a good goddess for that, and probably one of the best to help people through traumas. And she does do that. And that's where I see her kind and empathetic side. She is not this scary bitch woman that people make her out to be, that I've talked about before on this channel. That's a load of BS. Yeah, she may be a strict teacher sometimes. That doesn't mean she's nasty. That doesn't mean she's picky or jealous or anything like that. She is looking out for you, looking out for us all. That's what she's doing. And yeah, she wants us to work through our traumas, work through our issues, to be strong, to live our real authentic selves and to our true potential. And that's the ultimate goal. So to answer the question, how does Hecate help in that way? What does she do? Does she help with trauma? Well, that's what she does. She helps us, you know, unlock our real, true, full potential that's always been there but has been held back for one reason or another. And she helps us move on, move past that, and grow as people. So yes, I hope that helped. I hope that answered the question. If you've got any other questions, let me know, especially if it's about Hecate. I love talking about her. She's everything. But yeah, until next time, stay safe and stay witchy.